One comment even said that Fatu has no place in K-pop because she's black, as if black music isn't the backbone of K-pop.
I'm saying I don't wanna come down from your love. We'll get lost together like we fly. Don't ever let me come down from your love. From your love. From your baby.
Hey everyone, it's Bree here. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. Today I'm going to discuss the situation between Black Swan's Leia and Fatu that started on November 12th and has currently reached a boiling point. So if you've been online in the past few days, you might have noticed that Fatu and Leia have both been trending on Twitter. It all started when a Leia fanbase called Access Leia claims that a close relative of Leia, presumably her mother, reached out to them, alleging that Fatu was bullying Leia. The relative claimed that Fatu began, quote, intimidating, oppressing, and provoking Leia in October, but the situation between the two got exponentially worse as time went on. The relative continued to say that Fatu is the reason why Leia has allegedly been quiet on recent V-Lives and inactive on her social media accounts. The relative also claimed that Leia tried to go to DR management about the music, but no action was taken by the company. The Access Leia fan site followed up with another tweet sharing screenshots of a conversation they had with the alleged relative, where the relative confirmed that the previous tweets the fan site had made about Fatu bullying Leia were indeed true. Some fans were skeptical about the screenshots since it seemed the alleged relative's language didn't seem like the grammar of a native Portuguese speaker. However, fans noticed that Leia had liked and then unliked a tweet that stated, "She's Brazilian. Of course, if anything happened to her, her family would expose it. They should know the agency's history." And later, Leia made a tweet for the first time in almost a year stating, "I don't think it's cool to talk about other people's Portuguese. Everyone knows that in Brazil, not everyone has the option or opportunity to study." Leia's tweet confused fans even more since it seemed that she was backing up the allegations that the Access Leia fan site had made. What happened next was an absolute mess. Many of Leia's Brazilian fans sided with Leia immediately, even though the allegations hadn't came from her directly but came from a fan site which claimed to speak to a relative instead. To be honest, when I first read the allegations made against Fatu, I simply didn't buy it. It just didn't make sense to me at all. First of all, the allegations were extremely vague. In the past, with the hundreds of K-pop bullying allegations we've seen, most of the alleged victims have been pretty detailed and listed specific things that the perpetrator had done to them, which made them sound a little bit more credible. In this case, Leia's alleged relative just claimed that Leia had been intimidated, oppressed, and provoked by Fatu without giving any specific examples or evidence of exactly what Fatu had done. In addition, in most bullying allegations, the alleged victims themselves are the ones who make the allegations, not a third party, or in this case, a relative. I found it strange that this fan site was sharing information that allegedly claimed Fatu had bullied Leia, but Leia herself was silent on the issue, simply liking and unliking tweets and choosing to comment on someone's use of the Portuguese language instead of addressing the issue at hand. Leia later posted a picture on Instagram with Baby Yoda, along with the caption, "My new friend," to which her mother commented, "You can trust this one, it would never betray you." Leia's alleged family member, who was believed to be her mother as I stated before, later added in an exchange on Instagram with another user that the leader of Black Swan, Younghoon, had also bullied Leia. Leia's mother also added that she did not want Leia in the group, which is extremely telling. So next I want to address the backlash that Fatu has endured over the past few days. Tons of Twitter users, many being Leia's Brazilian fans, demanded that Fatu address the issue, and many were quick to throw her under the bus and believe the allegations were true without even hearing her side first. Some even stooped as low to flood her social media, specifically her Instagram, with disgusting racist and anti-black comments, calling her the N-slur, leaving monkey and gorilla emojis, and even telling her to go back to her country. One comment even said that Fatu has no place in K-pop because she's black, as if black music isn't the backbone of K-pop. So to that I would say, if Fatu has no place here, I don't want to see any black culture influences in K-pop. I don't want to see K-pop idols rapping. I don't want to hear any hip-hop or R&B elements. And let's also take away all of the black producers and composers, etc. who make music for some of your favorite idols as well. And then let's see if K-pop is as enjoyable to you without the elements of black music that it's so heavily influenced by. I found it pretty pathetic to see that some people seemed to jump on the bandwagon and on the chance to let their racism and anti-blackness come out, using bullying bullying allegations as a chance to do so. Even if the allegations were true, that doesn't give you the excuse to be an absolutely vile human being. Fatu actually took to Twitter and denied the allegations, detailing her side of the story before the post was deleted. I really encourage you to read her entire post, and I will include a repost link to it in the pinned comment, but I'll quickly summarize some of her main points. First, Fatu claims that Leia is selfish and acts as if she's a solo artist, not a member of a group, which causes problems for her members and staff. Leia constantly flips stories in every situation to make herself a victim and the other person the aggressor. Fatu actually gives a specific example of this that occurred at Music Bank. Before their performance, Black Swan's fan manager asked each member to take individual pictures of themselves to post on the official Black Swan Instagram page. Leia wanted to take pictures with Fatu, but because she needed to take her individual picture, as requested by the manager, Fatu said no. Leia then flipped the script and brought the incident up in a meeting the group had with their director, claiming Fatu didn't like her and didn't want to take pictures with her. Fatu added that Leia has had many similar situations as this with other members, but for some reason, Leia seems to be hyper-focused on specifically targeting Fatu. Fatu also speaks about a phone call that Leia had with a friend in which she said she's going to ruin the group when she's out. Fatu also added that Leia constantly says she doesn't want to be in the group and that people will take her side anyway because she's Brazilian, whatever that means. Fatu also describes Leia as a person who's two-faced and manipulative, using things that people did or said against them later, that she gaslights those around her regularly, and denies making statements that multiple people hear her say, basically bold-faced lying and saying, "I didn't say that," when multiple people heard her say that exact thing. Fatu claims that Leia is jealous of the other members and thinks she is solely responsible for bringing in the fans that they have. Fatu also claims that Leia has had mental problems since she was young and took medication since she was young, but Fatu claims that Leia lies and says she began taking medication recently because of Fatu. When Black Swan went to Belgium to perform, Fatu got to see her family after 2 years, and Fatu claims that Leia was extremely jealous of this, questioning why Fatu could see her family while Leia couldn't, although the rest of the members were seemingly very happy for Fatu. Fatu explains that things came to a boiling point when Black Swan were in Belgium because Leia disrespected Fatu's family in their own home. After that, Fatu was rightfully angry and stopped interacting with Leia, and later exploded on October 25th, which coincides to when Leia's mother claims the bullying started. So according to Fatu, this is not a situation of bullying, but instead a falling out in which Fatu was pushed to the limit. Fatu even specifically says, you can say things about me if you want, but once you say things about my family, it's over, which is very understandable, and I'm sure plenty of people feel the same way. So as I said, when Leia disrespected Fatu's family in Belgium, things began to go downhill between the two, and when Fatu had an argument with Leia in October, things reached a boiling point, and Leia spun this story as bullying. I'm just gonna be upfront. I believe Fatu. Her story is detailed and it seems credible. As fans continue to discuss the issue online, Leia has refused to address the issue or tell her side, but instead made tweets about her depression and even acknowledged some of the racism Fatu was facing because of her, saying that she doesn't condone racism. But if Leia really cared, why not address the issue and clear up all the speculation? And you really can't use the company won't let her excuse, because Fatu was able to tweet her side of the story out before deleting it. I saw some Brazilian fans discrediting a lot of Black fans, saying things like, "You're only defending Fatu because she's Black." This statement is ridiculous for so many reasons, but first of all, racism, specifically negative racist stereotypes, are very real. When I read the allegations made against Fatu without any evidence or details on what bullying occurred, and then I saw how quickly some people were to believe it, even spewing racist comments about Fatu, I immediately thought of the angry Black woman trope. The statement given from Leia's relative didn't give any specifics on what Fatu did, like I mentioned before, but instead they used buzzwords like intimidating and provoking, painting Fatu as this big, bad, aggressive person, and feeding into the negative, angry Black woman stereotype. When a Black woman is vocal or stands up for herself or knows what she wants and lets people know, she's often labeled as manly, mean, or aggressive. But when a non-Black woman exhibits the same behavior, they're often perceived as attractive, outspoken, or even spicy or sexy. I would argue that since many Black fans are aware of this stereotype and have been victimized by it themselves, they are hyper aware of the possible nuances that could be present in this situation. And because of that, they choose to side with Fatu, especially without any credible evidence or statements from Leia.
In the media, if you speak out or something like that, or you express your emotions, then you're the angry Black woman.
I kind of feel like that word is tossed out anytime that we speak up for ourselves. It's not even just when we're angry.
Oh, well, why is this woman so mad? Suppressing their true emotions because you don't want to hear it.
Whenever we speak indifference to somebody else.
On top of that, I'd pose the same question to some of those Brazilian fans who are trying to discredit black fans. Why are you so quick to believe Leia? I also think it's extremely hypocritical that so many Brazilian fans are complaining about people being xenophobic, but some of these people are the same people that have so many racist comments to make towards Fatu. In short, I commend Fatu for clearing her name, and I think she's extremely brave to do so since we see so many idols hide behind their companies. I especially think that this is brave after all the hate she's received in the past few days. I also think that DR Music definitely dropped the ball for not getting ahead of this issue before it was so messily leaked to the public by Leia's alleged family member. This situation should have been mediated before it reached this point, and Leia should have attempted to settle this privately instead of having her family member go to a fan site. I think doing so was very immature and selfish on her part because now this is affecting the entire group. If anything, once the news got out, DR Music should have made a statement to protect Fatu, especially since the allegations seem to be false, and try to get to the bottom of the issue. I really hope that DR Music can smooth this over if it's not too late and do some sort of mediation between the two, because it seems like they were close at one point, to hopefully squash the issue and salvage Black Swan's future as a group. But if Leia is as Fatu describes, especially if she's having issues with other members as well, keeping her in the lineup may hurt the group more than help them. I also want to say I've seen a lot of people saying, believe the victim, which is something people always say when allegations like this come up. And yes, we should believe the victim, but I also think that we need to apply some critical thinking when issues like this come up, especially when there's not enough evidence, because based on what we have now, we have Leia's alleged family member side of the story, and now we have Fatu's side of the story. What I'm saying is, yes, we need to believe the victim. Yes, we need to support people who are wronged, but sometimes you should apply critical thinking and really think about the issue at hand. Think about what evidence you do and don't have, and don't be so quick to jump on the bandwagon. So what are your thoughts on this issue? Let me know in the comments. And if you made it this far, please send Fatu some love because she really needs it right now. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like or share this video if you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Parking ko na their side, mga nagsisigag ba?